You know when you see a book all over Instagram and you're like, okay, gotta read this. Hey bookworms, welcome back to my channel. I am Sydney Alexis, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about The Boyfriend Project by Farrah Rashan. So I've been seeing this book literally all over Instagram. It was one of those things I was like, okay, you're gonna have to read it for you to stop seeing it everywhere. So I finally got it. I think I got this in the Bad Bish book exchange from my friend Well Read and Fed. Go follow her on Instagram. If you can. We are fellow Hamptonians, so gotta spread that around. I'm glad I read this because once I started it, I couldn't put it down. I know there's tons of things going on in the world, and so it was nice to have like an easygoing read. And it's by a Black author, so that was also a plus. So yeah, like once I started it, I couldn't put it down. It was just kind of addicting. I think I finished it in like a day and a half. Okay, so the book starts out with this woman named Samaya Brooks getting ready with her sister. I don't remember where they were gonna go, but her sister is reading to her this date that someone's typing about on Twitter that's just gone horribly wrong. And in her mind, she's thinking all these things like, wait a minute, like, oh, this sounds really familiar, and she was supposed to have a date at that same restaurant tonight. So as the tweets continue, as her sister continues to read the tweets, she goes ahead and puts the puzzle pieces together, shows up at the restaurant, and figures out that this boy that she's dating is not only two-timing her, he's three-timing her, because the girl, another girl who's in the same situation who read about this date on Twitter, shows up at this restaurant, and they just kind of all have it out with him. It's kind of funny because he's a creep and deserved it. And yeah, they all walk out and become friends. They have this bond. I guess just being publicly humiliated in true 2019 2020 fashion. Someone records this and it pops up on social media, so it kind of follows Samaya to her job. She's kind of known as the girl that went off, and she doesn't want people to think of her like that, but it kind of happened and it's already out there. Anyway, she forms a bond with these two women, and they become friends, like friends they didn't really know they needed. They decide to make a boyfriend pact so that they can take time away from guys, work on themselves, find new hobbies, whatever that may be. And then, of course, she meets a guy at work who's not all he says he is. Turns out he's undercover for the FBI because at her job there's some really, really fishy stuff going down, and she doesn't know any of this, but he does, and they end up falling in love. At first they start messing around, but of course they end up falling in love, and he realizes that he has to tell her that he's in the FBI and really doesn't work there and not who he says he is, and everything kind of comes to a head before he could tell her, and it hurts her and kind of sets her back a little bit, but in the end they work it out. So I'll give you my 3 key points. I gave this book 4 out of 5 bookmarks. I'll give you 3 of my key points here. Number 1, it was an easygoing read. I think Farrah did an amazing job with this. It was something that we needed at a time when, politics and the pandemic are at the forefront, so it was really nice to just relax and unwind. I will say that I liked learning the lessons that the main character Samaya learned along the way. She is a workaholic in this book, which, go figure, she meets a guy and falls in love with him at work. But she's a workaholic, and I feel like I am too. I work in sports, so it's really hard sometimes to separate, my life from the sports world because I'm constantly working on weekends. And I'm not complaining about it because I chose this career, but it makes it harder to separate life and work, and I need to work on that work-life balance. Anyway, she was going through the same thing that I feel like I'm going through now, where she had to, take a minute away from work to really smell the roses. And I feel like Daniel really helped her do that, and it was just a nice thing to see. Like, even though, she kind of got her heart broken, it was nice to see that he helped her really stop and smell the roses. I know that's cliche, but number 2. So when the 2 women, when Samaya and the other 2 women found the first guy cheating on them in the restaurant, it was really refreshing to not see the women turn against each other. Instead, they took all their anger out on him because he deserved it. And I feel like it's just really cliche sometimes to read books or watch movies where the girl just hates the other girl. And sometimes, you know, like, I'm not going to sit here and say that women aren't shysty and know that the man's in a relationship, but these other 2 women had no idea. So it was refreshing to see them get mad at him and kind of rebel against him because, let's be honest, like, he was a dog. So yeah, in the end, I really love the life lessons that Samaya learned from her story. I think it says that Farrah will be writing another one. I was on Goodreads and it said that this was number 1. So hopefully there's a second one and we can learn more about Samaya and Daniel because they're really, really cute. Really, really good. Totally suggest it. Highly recommend. I give it 4 out of 5 bookmarks. So if you're looking for a good, quick, easy, fun read, I totally suggest The Boyfriend Project. Thank you, Farrah Rashan. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching and please subscribe.